made between these two players in just, I think, the aim factor. I think that's really because with all the experience that Gelleshak does have, and with the way that this game can definitely fit his playstyle and what he likes to do, at the same time, it's very undeniable. I think that Klaus overall is going to be a much better aimer. That's how this should go. Gelleshak was never shabby on the aim, but Klaus is really, I mean...
There's shabby, and then there's like the elite. And Klaus was sitting at dinner the other night, I don't know if you were there, saying, I have the best LG in the world. I have the best LG in the world. I think that's the only thing he could say in English, I don't know. Because that's all he said to me. I don't know if he's trying to wind me up or something.
That's great, I like that.
I am looking forward to him vindicating that statement. He even said it to me today. I have the best LG in the world.
Maybe it's just like, that's just his, as you say, the only thing he knows in English, he just does it in like different tones. There's like, this is the greeting version and all that kind of stuff, like a Pokemon, I don't know.
I'm definitely looking forward to see if he's got that on the case. But anyway, we have Gelleshak not opting for the Nyx this time, opting for the Ranger. I do like that. I think the Nyx can be slightly defensive, whereas the Ranger gives you the option to go aggressive.
How's he not dead?
I don't know.
So much damage. The rockets come in again. Klaus will finally go down. Sort of trapped in the corner there. Again, that's shotgun. I thought it would finish it off, but Gelleshak picks up the first kill, and that's a really nice position to be in. As I would say, the underdog perhaps in this.
I would go out. I haven't seen him enough, but I just think on Klaus's reputation and what I know about the two players, Klaus has to be the favorite. The unusual thing is that they both started with the Anarchy when traditionally, recently, we've been seeing the Sorlag favor, just how powerful it is on this map. So either way.
Ooh, here comes the Klaus machine with Sorlag, and the LG will take down Gelleshak. Gelleshak, I think, expecting to have the engagement go slightly differently. The rocket sort of popped Klaus towards Gelleshak, and then it became a bit awkward, and then there you're sort of committed. There's only so much you can do. But a re-engagement here off the spawns,
okay,
and Klaus will make the next frag.
Some nice sevens coming out there. I was just about to say, the nice thing, and it's for both frags now, he hasn't used the split, which means Gelleshak really needs to be careful for the next engagement and just try and avoid Klaus.
Going with the Ranger. So, interesting, we don't see the Nyx from Gelleshak in that sense. That's what, of course, what you were predicting.
I was predicting it, but the Ranger gives you the option of the die roll, which is obviously potent against the Sorlag. We've seen it a number of times already this tournament, but also substantially in practice that given the hitbox and the size of the champion, you can do that to great effect. But also, as we've discussed on previous streams, the Nyx is weak against the Sorlag, and I think he might have expected that to be the biggest hurdle playing Klaus.
Well, it looks like Klaus is going to discover the location of Gelleshak. Oh, trying to go for that telefrag over the dire orb, failing though, and there's the pursuit. And it is interesting with the dire orb dynamic, just from the and choosing that instead of going for the Nyx. Maybe it's one of those, as you say. I feel like I'm the player that perhaps shouldn't on paper win this series, and I'm going to need something a bit crazy to do that. And the dire orb sort of offers that, as opposed to being like, I'm going to play Nyx and I'll play him out smart with the ghost walks. Try to play the game where you feel like I am the better player. Try to go for the variance a bit more with the dire orb. Yeah,
I completely agree. But it's never going to be that's the only reason why you pick it. It's just something that can be highly effective. It's more the fact that the Nyx is very vulnerable against the larger champions, in particular the Sorlag. But Klaus is Gelleshak's doing really good against the Klaus Anarchy, but it was the Sorlag that caused the problem last time.
Yeah, it's a good pick up, that frag, and again showing the proficiency of the speed. Power speed that Gelleshak has on that Anarchy, and he's got to be careful. Again, one of the things we've seen so far with Gelleshak is that he's been caught, it's sort of been caught off guard by Klaus and Cash, and then basically in a spot where he can't disengage properly and then just goes down. And this is another situation. He runs into Klaus, taking a route that Klaus expected, and gets finished off rather easily. So far, the tone of these first few frags that we've seen in this does make Klaus look like the better player.
Yes, I would say so. I mean, he's taken out Klaus Anarchy fairly easily, but as soon as Klaus gets a foothold on the map with Anarchy, we can see him doing, almost taking quite light work with Gelleshak, taking strong positions and just bullying him away from any items. But catching him off guard, as you say, multiple times, which is quite unusual.
Yeah, so Klaus now just biding his time as he stacks up on another light armor, 100 for him. And now we have Gelleshak playing by the tele exit, sort of cornered there in a small way. Obviously, the Mega's 10 seconds away here. Klaus is just trying to get some damage should Gelleshak try to make an escape. And also because Klaus has position on the rest of the map, he can beat Gelleshak to any item. So it really benefits him to stay here as long as possible. Gelleshak knows he has to move, and there's not much he can do from that position.
He made a bit of a hash brown with that whole kind of situation. He should have just manned up and balls out of there. But Yeah, just being a little bit too cautious, maybe too much respect for Klaus's LG. There we go, trying to hit the die roll on the riskiest one I've ever seen, but this is the problem, as you mentioned before, in that it is an all-in play. And if it doesn't work, you're just going to give away a free champion because you're stuck in a situation with no get out.
Absolutely, and so far Klaus seems to be looking to manage himself pretty effectively, quite composed, maintaining his equanimity.
Oh, I like that.
There you go. Another fancy word for composure. I learned that from Tasteless many years ago, actually. Used to use on his fast a lot. Shoutouts to him. Gelleshak going down again to Klaus. Doing quite well, the Anarchy surviving with 10 HP. I don't think he used the inject as well, actually. I think he kept that up.
He used it mid-fight. But this time we can see what Klaus's Anarchy can offer, because we haven't obviously seen it so far. And not a lot is dead yet.
Way to go, cast a curse.
Yes, indeed. But once again, it's the Sorlag. We haven't even seen this Sorlag die yet for Klaus. So that's step one for Gelleshak.
And it looks like Gelleshak's going to get a good engagement here. Catching Klaus off guard for once. That's nice, but unfortunately for him, Klaus will turn around and quite easily dismiss him with the rockets.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, again, a little bit of a mincemeat of the whole situation. And missing one rocket, the spit didn't really connect. Wow, going in, that was a really risky play. Almost as if he had given up on life.
It looks like Gelleshak in some of these spots doesn't have the confidence that he can actually outplay his opponent. If you take things easy, it's like, okay, we're going to sort of work this position, get some damage in there, see where that gets me. Am I ahead? Am I behind? Okay, a bit behind. Okay, going to go try and stack up a little bit, see what's going on. Try to just force a cooldown, force them to use a cooldown, or just try to actually really duel. It's like, I'm going to try to take this fight.
I think,
and if I lose, well, great.
I think you're completely right. All of those rounds finished in kind of like 1 minute 30.
Yeah.
It was just like, I'm going to take a fight. If it goes my way, great. If it doesn't, nah. Like, he never really took the time to back off, play position, or try and work his way with the smaller items, bully his way onto a bigger item. It was just like, it's now or never. And we saw that with the Ranger trying, again, I think it was twice, with Dirovs failing both times. Just very risky plays that, for a lot of them, didn't even have a high reward.
Would you expect something different going into the following maps? I mean, Corrupted Keep, obviously there's no rail. I think obviously it could be easier for Gelleshak to find a way in if he has a rail, I think that's exactly it. I think he has to play the rail game. His aggression with the rockets and LG was just not being matched because Klaus was far, far superior and taking fights with bigger stacks, and just Gelleshak was unable to do anything. I mean, there was never a time where Klaus felt vulnerable. I don't think he got low on the Sorlag once across all 3 rounds. So it has to be that Gelleshak tries to stay alive on his Anarchy. I think that's where he looks his best, theoretically, and utilize that rail, try and keep Klaus at range. But then Klaus has a great rail. But the nature of Quake Champions is if you can stay alive, you always have a chance. So that's the key. Try and stay alive, try and keep Klaus at bay, because if you are hitting your rails, he can't push in on you. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I know, I'm really
what the hell's going on?
Wait, I want to
just hear, like,
I'm trying to look over, but
screaming of the crowd.
Stick with us on stream B. We don't need screaming crowd.
But they're screaming us like, screw this.
It's just us two.
So sitting here now.
Recording a VOD.
Yeah.
Oh. You have me.
It's all good. Well, I mean, I'm curious whether or not, as you say, Gelleshak can bring about resurgence, use the rail to his advantage. Klaus, though, that could be something that Klaus is like, oh, nice, I can pick up the rail and just finishes it, even more quickly. And that's the thing with Gelleshak, just as you say, it's kind of like he's almost as though he's playing with one life, whereby if the Anarchy doesn't work, it's like, that's kind of it. It's like, I'm going to throw this die roll out there. It's like, oh, that didn't work. Well, now I'm dead as well.
He's got to this stage. He clearly has a sound basis.
Maybe he's got somewhere to be, man.
Maybe he's got somewhere to be. I mean,
let's find out.
I don't want to say he doesn't care, because he obviously, it'd be from him moving forward, that's a massive achievement. I know as we said at the very start, he's content to be at this stage, but that's not saying he doesn't want to win. It's just that I think he knows Klaus has a superior skill set and was trying to use relatively quirky tactics to get around that, and it just didn't pay off. So again, I do expect that he sat back in Maria's death and felt that hyper-aggression didn't work. Maybe I do need to sit back a bit more.
And one thing he may not be used to as well is how hard Klaus will be hitting him, because that's also a really big difference. That if the practice pool you're up against,
exactly,
people that you're playing don't hit as hard, you sort of base your decisions more around like taking less damage.
Yeah, 100%. They are the type of the plays that you would get away with in practice against less aimers, you're right, then it's something he would have been doing, and now it's not working. Sure, it took a whole map to realize, but if he has realized that, maybe it is time to reassess.
And there's a nice start to Ruins of Sarnath. Looking to ruin Klaus with a quick rail, and stack will be ruined for the time being, but it should be back up into a good state soon enough. Looks like the challenge comes onto the Mega there from Gelleshak. Get the pick up on that one. So Gelleshak in the driving seat at the moment, looking to see if he can do something to continue to pressure Klaus. But I mean, we had this conversation earlier, not later, not coming back from the future, but earlier we were talking about how the war of attrition is not really a thing in this game so much, as you can reset the situation so much. You have to be able to close down the kills.
Yeah, and one of the key reasons obviously is the abilities, the fact that you can then just reset instantly with an Anarchy. The other reason is that the major items aren't such a big influence anymore, that if you fall back and take a couple of small items, then you're basically on even keel again. So you need to pick your fights and finish your opponent almost in that fight, because as you say, it's not a slow game where you can just grind them down over time necessarily. But it does seem that Gelleshak learned his lesson from the previous map. Maybe he just really was not comfortable on Corrupted Keep, because so far it's been a solid start. He's hit a couple more rails on Klaus, and Klaus is playing relatively hesitantly.
And Klaus looking to find his opponent there at the heavy armor. Some good rockets there to set him at arm's length, but a good connection on the rail will allow Klaus to keep the aggression up here, and we'll see him go straight for the teleporter there. But it's Gelleshak with the rocket, a very well placed rocket to finish off Klaus and maintain the Anarchy, which has been so good for him. Finding another good rocket there, sprinting around the corner, the combo with the rail, and Gelleshak, he's doing it, man.
He's doing it. That was awesome. I thought when you're charging in there, no, you're going to get spat on, but he managed to evade it, hit a nice rocket to rail combo, and he is now 2 champions up against Klaus, killing that Sorlock for the first time this game.
But still, there is a Nyx to deal with. He's not gone to this point before, but that's a good start there. Good connection. Nyx, very small hitbox, very annoying to connect those rails onto, but there goes the Ghost Walk. Very aggressive stuff from Klaus. After taking the round, Gelleshak's so stacked, this surely is the round. It will be. Gelleshak will drop Klaus there, and
too aggressive from Klaus, and very nice from Gelleshak.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get himself on the boarding after seeing the first map. It was definitely looking quite bleak for Gelleshak, but can he get a good start here with his Anarchy again? Because that's our fear, I think, for Gelleshak. Should he lose the Anarchy, that his efficacy sort of drops quite significantly. But we'll see if that's the case on this map.
He needs to. He still needs to get a rocket. He still needs to get a rail. But this time again, playing very carefully. Good respect for Klaus's aim, and keeping an awareness of Klaus's position before he moves on any of these weapons. Nice double back.
Oh, gotta be careful there. Vander moves so quickly. Oh, Super Shotgun not good at this range. Doesn't have any weapons at all. This is so awkward here for Gelleshak. If he can get out of this alive, he'll be very happy, and he will be able to do so. And not just that, picks up the... Oh my god, surely not. Close range for the SSG. It's the only gun that he has. Oh my god! He gets the kill with the SSG Super Shotgun. And now he's going to follow up with the LG onto the Sorlock. Klaus in trouble right now. There's no escape. Back against the wall, trying to get the spit down there to make it harder to close the distance for Gelleshak. And Gelleshak indeed will be zoned away.
Exceptional play from Gelleshak. Unfortunate to finish off Klaus yet, and I think looking back he would be like, well, maybe I do have a chance, and he really can look to steady the ship.
I can't believe he had nothing but a Super Shotgun.
It's pretty powerful, man.
Escaped that situation.
When I saw him take that red, I knew exactly what he was going to do, and he didn't hit anything for the first shot, but it was exactly the right move. But
crazy stuff.
That is the high risk, high reward play we're seeing from Gelleshak, but this time the actual decisions he's making are far better.
Here's a good stack now to work with. He waits Klaus to approach the heavy armor position. Gelleshak will be able to hit sound cues there. In comes Klaus. Good rail, but the heavy will replenish the armor lost, and a great follow-up rocket from Klaus will decisively deal with the very troublesome Anarchy from Gelleshak, and Klaus must know at this point it gets easier from here. That's a great connection, misses the shot, but through the telly will Gelleshak go, and there's the pursuit from Klaus. Got to be very careful with this one. Down quite low, both players missing close range rails. That's very awkward. And it's going to be Gelleshak that picks it up. 22 health remaining.
Yeah, that was a very awkward situation with 3 missed rails apiece, but Gelleshak in with a chance to go 2-0 up on Ruins of Sarnath, but only again the Nyx to deal with. Klaus this time needs to be definitely reassess the situation because his aggression on this map is not paying off this time. Particularly with that Nyx, if he does pop that Ghost Walk, last time, as we said, he went hyper aggressive and it just didn't pay off. So again, please just play it a little bit cooler.
And just taking it easy once again, looking for good positions to work off of. Always got to be thinking about where you're standing, what the engagement and disengagement possibilities are from that position. Don't want to overcommit yourself anywhere.
Exactly, and that's the way in which Gelleshak's Anarchy died on this map, taking the wrong position on the side of the stairs, trapping himself in that doorway. It's those little things that can really win or lose your games.
It's an interesting spot now for Gelleshak due to the fact that Klaus was able to win the fight for that Mega. Did pop the Ghost Walk to do so though, and we can see a passage of play, which is going to start to become quite aggressive. It was passive for ages there, but the Spit's doing quite some damage. Klaus very low here. Didn't pick up the bubble though.
He is very low, but the amount of damage that Klaus put out there must have been 100% lightning round because Gelleshak was almost fully stacked and he went down to 56 HP. He needs to get out of here now.
That's really unfortunate for Klaus. I mean, unless a big mistake comes in from Gelleshak, or he does go for the engagement, and double rail coming in from Klaus. He might want to finish this off now, trying to close the distance as he goes closer. Another rail connected, but over-aggressive perhaps, and Gelleshak will take the second round.
Slightly over-aggressive, but the fact is he popped his Ghost Walk to get there, and then he was trapped. His only realistic solution was to hit everything, and he missed one last crucial rail, and it cost him his life.
Round 3. Fight.
Gelleshak having a good time of it so far. Going close in with the machine gun. Unfortunately, it's no super shotgun. We'll be able to back off for the time being and collect some items. All the guns except the rocket launcher now, or the major guns that you'd want to have in this situation. Gelleshak will actually once again spot Klaus in a position where it's hard to escape here without an engagement. It's up to Gelleshak whether or not an engagement happens here. Ooh, I think he messed up the rocket jump here. Yeah. And it's actually juking and jiving. I'm not sure what's going on with this movement, but it's working here for Klaus as Gelleshak will get out of dodge.
That was again a very awkward situation with a couple of mistakes on both sides. I think in that situation, if it was me, I would just man up and use the actual raw speed to try and get out, because as we all know, Anarchy is exceptionally annoying to hit with the railgun. Either way, somehow both survive alive, but now Klaus is really on the back foot with no stack to work with.
Ooh, is Gelleshak going to time this well, dropping down to the heavy. Now will Klaus be aware of this, gets the rail connected. Will that be the cue to go in? Another rail, and that's a very dead Gelleshak, but he manages to slither his way out of that one. Back onto the Mega, but incredibly weak. Has to go for it now. Had the rail up, had to hit that shot. Can the rockets do the damage? They cannot. It's going to be Klaus who picks up the frag, and Klaus still rolling on the Anarchy, or rather, I suppose, hovering.
Hovering on the Anarchy, indeed, yeah. It was a good play coming out from both sides, as we see a bit of aggression coming out from random gaunt and play from Gelleshak. Yeah, a bit of aggression from both sides, but great timing from Klaus just to push in at the right time as Gelleshak was waiting for that Mega health.
Now catching Gelleshak, going for that Daro play. We saw it almost as an act of desperation every single time in the previous map, and Klaus is back in it. Gelleshak, he picked up the first 2 rounds, but is that all that there is to be for him, as Klaus likely is making some adjustments as the playstyle of Gelleshak has changed somewhat on Ruins.
Indeed, and that was much better played from Klaus. Working the items better than previously, and just it was a couple of mistakes from Gelleshak as well, so we'll see how he does this round as Klaus claws his way back into the game.
Looking to go use that high ground. Some damage off onto Gelleshak. He connects the rail as well. It could be quite problematic. Oh, got to be very careful here. Gelleshak laid the trap by the telly with the rockets in hand, and Klaus completely misread the situation, and that will be the end of his first champion in this round.
Yeah, exactly right. Misreading the situation is what happened. We were talking about how aggression can win you games, but they can also lose you games, because that was not the situation to push in.
Yeah, just didn't consider a rocket could be close there, and very nice from Gelleshak to capitalize. Still, it has to go further than that. He's got his back against the wall. Oh, quick rocket jump though, but he will be body blocked by Klaus, and there goes the spit as well. So it's a great idea from Gelleshak. Actually, I think quite unfortunate with the timing.
Yeah, definitely. I don't believe that Klaus was anticipating that. He was just in the right place at the right time. And now Gelleshak is stuck with only a rocket launcher to work with, which is not a great position to be in.
Yeah, great connections from Klaus, hitting both rails. Remarkable stuff from him now as he looks to try to put the pressure onto Gelleshak after just picking up that Mega, picking up the Heavy. Now's the time to go. It's a very stacked Sorlag.
It is, and that's perhaps the most difficult position to be in a duel, is when you're facing a Sorlag with aim that likes to use speed and also has a stack to work with. And
great flick.
Great rails.
And that will be that there for Gelleshak, and very fast round. Klaus making it look much more decisive. It seems to be on Ruins that each round, well, round to round from the very beginning, it's like very tough for Klaus, got slightly less tough. Well, then Klaus just about picked up a round, and then that last round seems like it was pretty easy for him.
Yeah, the perception I get is that Gelleshak is obviously a very, very great player, but as soon as he's on the back foot, he kind of loses his way a little bit, and he gets himself in difficult situations by not really thinking what he needs to be doing on the defensive. When he's in control, he's exceptionally good at rotating the items and keeping awareness of Klaus's position, but that's not exactly true when he's on defense so far.
Oh man, 2 big rails, and Klaus knows Anarchy is very squishy. 1 bullet of machine guns, all it takes. And we know how much of a big loss that is for Gelleshak right now. Losing the Anarchy is going to send his confidence down surely. As gets caught with the Sorlag there on the bridge. Very easy LG and can't pick up the Mega during the fight. May have made the difference, but Klaus now 1 kill away as we see the desperation, the Hail Mary dire orbs coming out again. We're used to seeing it from Gelleshak. Has not worked out for him once just yet. Pursuit is good, and that's it for Klaus. He will take map 2. Klaus pretty convincingly will be defeating Gelleshak. I mean, we saw some good stuff here and there from Gelleshak, but overall Klaus definitely looked like the more rounded player.
Yeah, it took a bit of a scare going 2-0 down, but they were hard, ground out rounds by Gelleshak. As soon as Klaus got the upper hand, we could see how he's able to capitalize on his advantage extremely well, just getting on his opponent, understanding what he needs to do with the right weapon choice, and hitting all the shots. And when you're playing like that, I mean, again, it looked relatively easy, but there was not much Gelleshak could realistically be doing.
Well, I mean, he got this far. I mean, for Gelleshak, he's not going to be leaving with too heavy a heart. He, I think, accomplished much more than he ever expected to. And we don't know really exactly how much he practiced as well for this, because he's one of those players where, again, he's played for like probably 20 years of Quake in his time, or near enough. So it's hard to ever be in a situation where you're like, oh, this game doesn't feel... It's like riding a bike, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So he's going to be very happy to have this experience. But Klaus, he's the young blood. And it's going to be very interesting to see how far he goes in the future. And it's about time to wrap up this one. We'll see you guys after the break for more Quake action here on the B Stream.
You take a top-line product, and the price to performance value there is just amazing.
With 240 Hz and FreeSync on, it felt like I was in the game again.
You should choose Vega if you want to make sure that your games are being played the way they were meant to be.
Turn up all your quality settings. Get a glass with FreeSync. And the best GPU to drive that is Vega. That's it. That's the simple answer.